Come, I can see Brent checking his pocket. I'm a goofball, that's why. Okay, so this is going to be the final frosting. Earlier I showed you how to make the Swiss buttercream and then how to do the crumb coat. So this is, you know, an hour later after the initial crumb coat has set up. So, say hi.
There you go.
Okay, so you can obviously tell that it is set up because it's much firmer. You can see how it smooths out. And this, at this point, what I like to do is to do my top. I like to get it nice and smooth. And then I go ahead. This is what a Lazy Susan is really nice. They have some I saw that had like a pedal on it you could use with your foot to like move them, so you can actually work with two hands. So how I do mine, not a professional cake decorator. Let me point that out to you. So even when I sell cakes and things like that, I do not do custom frosting and icings and animal figures and all that other kind of stuff because one, I don't know how to do it good enough. Other people say it's great, but I just don't feel confident in it, even with my roses. So I need to practice. I like to use the really big tips when I do all my cakes and when I do my cupcakes. I like to use the big bags, so they're like you're going to get a probably the 18 or 24 inch bags. I'm not really sure. I threw the label away that was on these, so I can't really tell you. Anyway, I hold it up. How you figure out where to cut these because they have a closed end. So you need to cut it to fit your tips and your adapters. So what I do is I put it up, the tip of it flush with the top. And then you can see that it comes down to here. But you're not going to cut it here because you want to have some of it inside, some of the nozzle inside the bag. So I like to cut it right here where this first lip is. That's where I measure mine at. Then you just take a scissor and then cut across. It's better, of course I grabbed the Dulles Paragon. It is better to cut short and then be able to recut than to cut it too big because then you cannot put it back on and you have just ruined your bag, wasted your bag, basically. Okay, so you got to add some, remove some more. So I know that I need to pull off an inch. An inch is from the first joint of your finger to the tip. That's approximately an inch. So since that's approximately an inch, and this does stretch out, I'll put it on my finger and you kind of get an eyeball of where it is. And then cut. So that's why I'm telling you, it's better to cut short the first time than to try and cut too much and then your nozzle falls through. So you see how that nozzle slid right up in there, and because this is plastic, it does have a lot of give on it, and it'll stretch out. I like to frost cupcakes and cakes with this open star. I like the big nozzles. I like the big tips. It just gives a better presentation for me. Personally, I just think it's appearance-wise, it's better. Now, another thing you need to know if you're doing this is don't try and tighten this up all the way because these are plastic and they're not going to set firmly. You will twist that right open and your tip will fall right out. So you want it, see, like that? It'll fall right out. So you don't want to twist it all the way down. You've got to give it a little bit of, you want to set it on the nozzle, but don't crank it all the way down. So, see, not all the way down. Okay, then the easiest way to fill these bags that I've found, you know, y'all know it drives me crazy to have all this stuff everywhere, is to get a clean cup. Like one of those big gulp cups or something like that. Or one of these big plastic teacups or whatever, mason jar. Use a quart one. The pints aren't going to work. I got to clean this up. It's bothering me. You put it in the nozzle in the bag and then fold the bag over, and it helps you fill that bag easier, and you don't have all the air in the bottom. Okay, so you're gonna get your Swiss meringue out, and this stuff really pipes like a dream. It doesn't get hard and sugary. It stays fluffy. And you shake it down to the bottom. And then you give it a press so you're getting out all the air down on the bottom. And then put it back in and then make a little bit of a lip so it comes up. So you can frost it some, put some more in there. Alright. Now, set that aside and use the remainder, which is not very much, but it's going to be enough. Ugh, you see, you just swing that everywhere? I have frosting everywhere. It's a good thing that I haven't cleaned the kitchen yet today. Now wash your hands because it is kind of, you know, you can feel that that butter on there, and it does get a little bit greasy, and then your hands will slip off. So, with that little bit of frosting that's on there, you want to go ahead and try to do your sides if you're going to do a decorative edge on your sides. Don't get all the way down to the bottom. You kind of leave that because you'll fill that in with when you're doing your piping. And you can clean up all that stuff along the edges. You're basically just covering up the cake because you can see the cake with the, when you did the Crumbcoat, it was so thin that you can see the cake through it. So now's the time when you're going to actually put it on a thicker layer. And don't worry about it being too thick because you're going to pull some of that off when you use your other stuff, which now is the time when I go get it and kind of round up your edges. Okay, let me go get that other thing. I want to show you that edge. I told y'all we're still trying to move like 3 kitchens, condense 3 kitchens into one. We're still in that phase, and we're going to redo the Bryant's grandma's, the farmhouse that, you know, we own that. So we're going to redo that one into our kitchen, but I don't want to take out any loans, so we're going to do it as we can afford it. But so I still got everything all scattered around. So back to where I was. No, actually, I need to tell you something. So, when you're doing frostings, if you're going to get into cake decorating and a lot of baking and things like that, it took me a really long time to figure this out. So, I'm 51, and I just figured this out like a couple years ago. So, it took me like 45 years, and I've been baking since I was 4 or 5. When I 4, if you ask my mama. In reality, baking alone, probably 8. So, do the math. It took me that long to figure out how to organize stuff better. If you go to the dollar store, everything's a dollar store, and buy these little shoe boxes, even at Walmart, they're like $1.25, but buy them, and then you can store the stuff in it and have everything together. Like in this one, I have all my cake decorating stuff like that I need. all my little tips. And these, I even keep these little tips. I keep these when I do cookies. That'll be another thing. And then like the offset spatula that I was telling you about, that smooths out the edges. And then a little one, this little flat spatula, that's what I use for cookies when I'm decorating sugar cookies. Because after you float, well, you don't really want to know about that. But anyway, these are awesome. And then I cupcake stuff, it goes in here, like all the little liners. And then I find them on clearance sale, and I get them just so that when I do cupcakes to send to school for Teachers' Day and all that stuff, they look cute. And then people say like, oh, you worked so hard on that. No, not really. It just looks like it. So anyway, shoe boxes. Get some shoe boxes. Okay, another little thing that is great for doing fancy little edges are these. It's called a cake decorating comb. This is a Wilton one. They probably cost, I don't know, like 50 cents a buck or something like that. And they have different edges on it. Let me see. Different edges on it. So that's what gives you that edge on the cake. So like when you buy it from the bakery, it has like, it looks like ribbing. But it's kind of tricky because you have to hold it at the right angle all the way around the cake. And if you don't have a Lazy Susan, it can be kind of, you know. So you just pick whichever edge you want, and then you're going to drag it. And you have to go level. You have to be smooth so it doesn't. And if you pull it off, you have to pull it off in the right spot, or I don't know if you can really see that. How that left that mark. But the good thing about this Swiss buttercream is that you can easily cover it up and start over. So you can just try out one edge, and then if you don't like it, then you can try a different one. So you just pull it like that. And see, it gives you that wavy kind of thing. Okay, so that one's pretty good. I guess we'll go with that one. So you just start and you kind of press into the cake and drag it and turn it at the same time. You can hold the cone slightly on the cake, but you kind of gotta be paying attention. And if you're just doing cakes at home, get some practice. And you know your family doesn't care. And then just put that on the top of it. So top. If you want a smooth top when you're doing a birthday cake, because you're going to do writing on it, try to get it as smooth and even as you possibly can. It does not have to be perfect, but because I'm going to show you a little trick. But try to get it as smooth as you can and even as you can. Even, level, all that kind of stuff. And then you just wipe that off. You don't have to worry about the Crumbcoat. Your crumbs on it, because your Crumbcoat's kind of sealed all them in. So if you use a much bigger knife, like I have a really long knife, that's the one I should be using right now. If you have that, it's actually better. Okay. So you get that relatively flat and level. Then you take that little spatula and do your edges. The reason I like to do the little one is because I have more control, and then I just pull it up. You just clean off some of this extra frosting. You don't have to go crazy and try and get it even, but you just want to kind of get some of it up. And like that 1/4 inch around, you don't really have to worry about that. Okay. So once you get that done, now is when you're going to start your piping. And the reason I like the star tip is because it's easy. It looks, it looks cute. And you get pretty good control over it. Okay, so you take that first one out, and to squeeze out the air, take one of that out. Then twist it, and you hold it in your hand, and you're going to hold it straight up and down to do your stars. I like to do the stars all the way around the edge. And that's one of the reasons that I like this tip. is because you can make, you can use it for multiple decorations. You try to go on the edge of the cake, and if it starts coming out wonky, the good thing about this frosting is you can just pull it up. You don't have to worry about it. You just push it down and pull it up. Push it down, pull it up. And like sometimes you'll get on your tips, they'll get like a little funky, like they're not leaving a perfect thing. Then just give it a good squeeze out on the hard, and then wipe it off and see if you have something stuck in there, or if like your if your tip is bent or something like that. Sometimes it'll do that. Like this tip is bent or something. So all you gotta do is open it up, and you take it off. That was really graceful, wasn't it? Squeeze everything out of there, and then rinse it off and see what was in there that was stopping it up. You don't even have to wash it. Like a little piece of, I don't know, something. Maybe like a piece of sugar or something that wasn't dissolved, or I don't know, whatever. It might be messing it up. You can just go ahead and pipe that all the way around. If you need to open up your tip more, rinse it out, clean out your tip good with hot water, and then you can put a pencil, use a pencil to put through it. You're going to have to use hot water and some soap to get all the frosting out of it. I like to open these up when I'm doing cupcakes, because it makes your frosting look, when you put it on there, it makes it look fancier. Okay. And dry it out. Okay. Then you can hold it up to the light to see where there's a flaw in it, or where it's too close together, or if you're going to open it up. So to open them up, get a pencil, which I don't have, or a pen, and you insert it. You have to be really careful about this, or you'll open it up too much and then you'll be wonky. So you just stick that in there. Make sure your hands are dry. And then you open that tip up more so it's a bigger star. You kind of want to make sure it's all around level, but it's really easy. They're very flexible. So now, like I was telling you about, this frosting is great because it's so forgiving. It doesn't set up like a regular buttercream, and it doesn't get that crust that buttercream can get on it. So you can use all this frosting that you took off, or wherever you have mistakes on your cake, or if you don't like it the way that is, you can just pull it off and just put it right back in your bag. These really weren't bad, but kind of looked wonky to me. So, okay, so start wherever you did that last star that looked good, and then you just pull it back around and smooth it out. Use an offset spatula for that. And remember, just kind of keeping it like within that ½ inch, quarter of an inch around the edge of the cake. I'm sure some of the professional decorators will have a fit over it, but and you just hold it up, straight up and down, and then kind of bounce it. And then the ones I do around the edge on the bottom, yeah, is I like to I like to do. I can't even tell you all what just happened. I like to. I like to do it this way, and then you pipe it this way, and then you drag it, and then bring it back. So it gives you, I don't know if you can really see it, they give you that kind of little effect. I strongly suggest you just get this stuff, and every time you make a cake for your family, just practice. It doesn't have to be perfect. They don't care. They're not going to see all your mistakes. I promise you. They will not see them. The only one who's going to see the mistakes is you or some professional cake decorator. And are you really going to have a professional cake decorator over at your house? And if you do have a professional cake decorator that comes over to your house and criticizes anything, then she should have made the damn cake for you. That's the way I look at it. You can just kind of fix any of those that you had. And then in the center, when I'm doing birthday cakes or anything like that, I try to leave that smooth so you can do your writing on it. But if you're not going to have any writing on it and you're going to put candles on it, then I like to leave just like a little mound of frosting on it. So then you've got, if you're going to, you can either leave it like that, and that mound will hold your, I'm sorry y'all, my husband, you know, we're newlyweds and he's distracting me with his sexiness. So, flip over your socks. And we're grilling at the same time, so my mind is not just on this cake. Anyway, you can put all your little sprinkles of confetti around it, and I'm just doing this one with this multiple. My mind is gone. These rainbow sprinkles, just because. Right now, I'm thinking about honeymooning stuff, not cakes. So you just go around it like that. And to get it on the side, you kind of gotta angle it a little bit. However, you can put it onto a sheet of paper and then slide the sheet of paper, you know, you hold it up like that and then do it. But I just put them around the edges like this. Anyway, just put a little bit more on the top. Kind of leave most of the top without it. I try to do the sprinkle around the edges where I have that extra frosting. And let me see if I can shape that. It's not going to be perfect, but I'll take some. Let me see if I can move this camera. Every time I move this, it kind of gets warmed up. So you can kind of see it. There you go. Anyway. Rotate device. So, okay. So anyway. There you go. Color, you're not getting a good color just because of the lighting in here. It's fluorescent light, so you're not getting a true vanilla, that white frosting look. It looks kind of yellowy, but anyway, it's not. So, anyway, that is almond wedding cake underneath it and the Swiss buttercream and honey sauce. There you go. Thanks.